Yeah, so welcome back to non-league Nutter Natter. A few studio issues last week. We're having them again this week. This is why we've ended up trying it a different way. And like I say, first time we done it this way, go straight into it. So apologies if I can't edit that bit out. um, so yeah, start off with the match reports as always. I suppose. How many did you get this week, Andrew?
I've got one.
And I've got two. Do you want me to go with my first one first?
You go first, then. Yeah.
Do I have to?
Get on with
Damn
it.
So yeah, so we'll start last Saturday, I suppose, if I really have to.
Well, you could skip it. You could have just said you'd only get one.
No,
But I
I
think
can't do
people
that.
really, really want to hear the Tividale versus Dudley report.
Yeah, no, I've got to relive that now. So yeah, obviously everyone aware of the Black Country Derby on Sunday. There was also one on Saturday. Tividale were playing Dudley in what was at that point classed as a 6-pointer. Tividale in the bottom two, Dudley up and about mid-table. I think they were 8 points above us at that point, but we had 3 games in hand. So obviously, if we beat them and then win our 3 games in hand, it would put us 4 points above them. So that's why it was classed as a 6-pointer. Yeah, actually, quite a bright start for Tividale. They did most of the probing. A couple of half chances, nothing major. One ball flashed across the box, just couldn't get on the end of it. And then on 6 minutes, Tividale gave the ball away again. Dudley counter, Harry Crook squares it, Ethan Muckley taps it in. 1-0 Dudley.
Oh
Fun.
dear.
Yep. And then again, the game, Tividale really having the better of the chances. Say chances, better of the play without creating too much. One moment where Ewan Edwards picked the ball up on the right, drove into the box, put the defender on his arse. Good shot from an angle. It was a good save from the keeper. I then think it was from that corner. It was a poor corner, straight to the Dudley keeper. It wasn't high. It was at chest height. Nobody run across him, challenged him, which is disappointing. He has then pinned it out to the right winger, who's basically, which was Ethan Muckley. He's basically run off the length of the pitch and squared it for Harry Crook to tap it in. So essentially, 2 attacks for Dudley, 2 goals.
Right.
Yeah. Oh no, I tell a lie. They did have a shot before that. That should have been 2-0 up before that. They did have one shot before that, but it was a good save from Lewis. But essentially, they've set up the players on the counter, and that's what they've done. 2-0. We did have a chance to pull one back just before half time. Free kick right on the edge of the box. Ryan Snape got it round the wall, but it was again good save from the keeper to put it behind for another corner. And believe it or not, pretty much the same, almost identical to the one they scored from. Straight to the keeper, and he's cleared it, but this time it was just over it for his winger. So, yeah, going 2-0 at half time. Scoreline was harsh, but again, creative our own problems. Giving the ball away for the first one and then leaving ourselves open to the counter on the second. So, yeah, disappointing. The second half, can't really tell you too much. Yeah, as I said on Twitter, I'll show you, Andrew, my tweet at full time was the score and sorry for the lack of updates in the second half and nothing. To be quite frank, to be quite honest, I lost interest. So we were having a chat and keeping that on the game, and that's the way it was. But Dudley did get a third goal. I think it was about 10, 15 minutes left at that point. And it was about 15 minutes after that point. Harry Crook, was it? again, yeah, Harry Crook down the left, crossed into the front post, and the Dudley players headed it down into the bottom corner. Lewis again, no chance in the goal, keeping it out 3-0 Dudley. Looked like we might have a way back into it and a bit of a lifeline. I think it was on 78 minutes we got a penalty. Ryan Snow stepped up and put it over the bar, which that just summed up the day. And the fact that it was Ryan summed up the day as well, because it's pretty much the only thing he's got wrong all season. So, when he's not on firing on all cylinders and gets it wrong, that it's a bad day. But yeah, that was how it finished. Tividale 3. Sorry, no. I wish it was. Tividale 0, Dudley 3. That pushed Dudley 11 points above us. Fortunately, all the results in the league went our way. All the bottom teams around us were playing each other, and they all managed to draw, so that worked out well for us.
It still gives you a bit more of a chance then. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've still got games to land on most teams around us, at least one, if not two. Some we've got 3.
Right.
Yeah, Saturday, quite possibly the worst performance of the season, and the fact that it was a derby and the players going to get up for it was even worse.
Yeah.
There were serious questions being asked of certain players after the game on Saturday.
Yeah.
And some decisions for Stu to make, I think. Whether he's going to make those, that's obviously up to him. But yeah, I'd rather not talk about any longer than if I can, please.
Okay. Shall we go to where I went on Saturday then?
Yeah, please.
So I was looking around. Now, last week I said I was probably going to go to United Counties Premier Division South and to go to a match in there, and I listed half a dozen matches, which I might get to. But when I was just surfing around the web, I came across a game that I thought would be a bit more interesting. So I went to step 2 to the National League North. So you're thinking, yes, he's going up north. No, actually, this was the 2 most southern teams in the National League North. This is Bishops Stortford versus Gloucester City. And this is quite funny because when Bishops Stortford they won the Isthmian League last year, the Premier Division, they got promoted and they were placed into the National League North. They did appeal it, saying that it was ridiculous them going in the North when they're just outside London. To which Gloucester responded, actually, we're further south than you and we're in it. Looking at the lines of latitude, there's not an awful lot in it. But Gloucester are right, they are further south. Anyway, so, but this was a good match to go to for another reason. Bishops Stortford are 150 years old. And Saturday they decided was going to be their celebration match for their 150th anniversary. So they did this beautiful A4 64-page full colour programme, limited edition 150th anniversary pin badge. They invited anybody who'd ever played for them to come to a slap-up feed beforehand, and then there was a parade of the former players before the match. So it was a really nice sort of like bit of a celebration job.
Yeah. And I know how you love a pin badge. I said, I know you love a pin badge, so that would have gone down.
I love a pin badge. I've got about 60 of them now, so yeah. And I do love a pin badge, and a special one was even better. So I thought, right, okay, let's see what sort of a match we're going to get now. And at that point, I decided to look in the programme and look at the table. Bishops Stortford were 24th. Gloucester City, 22nd.
Oh,
so
interesting.
I thought, right, here we go. Bottom of the table, relegation dogfight. Let's see what we get. So the game kicked off on time, nicely. 5 minutes in, free kick on the right, just outside the box. It was crossed in, and they messed about a bit, but finally slipped it home in the bottom left corner. So 5 minutes in, it's 1-0 to Gloucester. Then another 5 minutes go past, not a lot happening, just a bit of up and downy stuff. Gloucester put a low cross in from the right. It skids right past the goalkeeper, but the player coming in gets his shot away, but it was blocked well by the defence. So Bishops get away with one there. So it's still just a 1-0. 16 minutes in, and there is what can only be described as an industrial tackle, resulting in Gloucester being forced to make a substitution.
Yeah.
No cards shown at all. No yellow, no red, no nothing. But to be honest, even after he was down for about 7 minutes being treated. But having said that, he did get up and walk off the pitch, so it can't have been that bad in the end. But it did put a bit of a delay on it. So the game continues. It's pretty even, as you would expect with two teams this close together in the league, and both pretty rubbish by all accounts. 22 minutes in, Bishops Stortford put some good work together, some good passing moves, ended with a shot from the edge of the box, but the Gloucester keeper saved that one comfortably. 3 minutes later, Bishops Stortford are on the attack again. They have a free kick 25 yards out, just left of the centre. It was beautifully floated into the back stick. The incoming player, nice volley close in, and it's 1-1. That was a really, really good free kick. They deserve that goal. So it's all even. 35 minutes, Bishops Stortford got another free kick. This one's near the right corner flag. So that was a good one. And then just before half time, Gloucester go belting down the right. They were getting most of their activity was down the right. They were getting a lot of success down that route. It was crossed in. It took a little deflection off the defender, but fouled a Gloucester player who was basically on the penalty spot, and he just placed it neatly home. So half time, and it is Bishops Stortford 1 and Gloucester City 2.
Spoiling the day.
It could have been a very even. It was an even game at this point. Second half, however, Gloucester seemed to want it more.
Okay, fair enough.
So they came out, and 10 minutes into the second half, they went down the right again. So as I say, that channel was working for them. It was a perfectly placed cross onto the striker's head at the far post, and it's 3-1.
Yeah.
This point, the Gloucester fans in the ground are singing "Happy Birthday" to Bishops Stortford. It's their celebration game, and they're 3-1 down, and they're singing "Happy Birthday." So it's quite fun. Another 10 minutes passed with a great deal of action. Like I say, at this point, 64 minutes, and Bishops Stortford. This one for diving in the box, and it was an absolute clear dive. So it's a stupid yellow card to get, especially when I'm pretty sure that his first half yellow card was for dissent. So I mean, argue with the referee, get one yellow, dive in the box, get another yellow. That's just stupid.
I've never understood why anyone would dive when they're on a yellow card.
No, exactly.
I don't.
For whatever reason, the first yellow came. Diving when you've got one is stupid. So
Anyway, so Bishops Stortford now
down to 10 men for the last 20-25 minutes, and Gloucester really ramp it up, really go in for it. Lots and lots of slick passing going on, but they weren't getting anything out of it. Bishops did defend well right up until about 2 minutes before full time, and Gloucester's slick passing got him into the box, and a nicely placed finish made it a final score of Bishops Stortford 1, Gloucester 4. So for a celebration day, it was a good game, especially for the neutrals. It turned
the long trip north,
as they put it. Yeah. So you went to another match on Tuesday, did you?
I did, yeah. I was trying to think where I went. Stourport. One of what I thought was only 2 grounds that I haven't been to in this league, but it now turns out there's 3 because Norwich have moved, and upset me because we've already played them at their old ground, and I'm not going to get to it. So, not completing the league this season, unless we draw them in a cup. No, we're at the League Cup, so we can't draw them in a cup. So yeah, first visit to Stourport, which I say is quite unbelievable considering they're one of the closest teams in the league. But yeah, that's what it was. But just before I move on to this, I just want to touch on the Dudley game.
Yeah.
As bad as Tividale were fair play to Dudley because they wanted it more and it showed. So yeah, they came with a game plan, they executed it well. Fair play to them.
Yeah, good.
Just before, in case there's anybody from Dudley listening to this, fucking hell. See all he's done, he's gone about how bad Tividale are and they don't want to talk about it. But yeah. Yeah, good crowd as well. I think there was 154 there, which obviously is very good for us. Granted, 80% of it was Dudley, which, as I say, I would expect considering we were practically playing in Dudley. But yeah, so yeah, it was good to see a good crowd, and yeah, fair play to Dudley. They turned up, they wanted it, and they deserved it. So yeah. But anyway, on to Tuesday. So yeah, Stourport, obviously again versus Tividale. I'm not 100% sure where Tividale. I know where Tividale are. Not 100% sure where Stourport are in the league. They're in the top half. I think they might be just in the playoffs or just outside the playoff places. But they're also in a very, very good Vars run this season. But yeah, got off.
Stourport Swifts, they're 5th.
They're 5th, so that's just inside the playoffs, isn't it? Is that 2 places inside? Well, yeah. So yeah, again, got off to a fairly even start. Both teams feeling each other out. Again, Tividale probably had pretty similar to Dudley. One flash across the box, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, Tividale never seems to get any players in the box. So it went through and cleared. About 5th minute, counter a Stourport player on the edge of the box who hit an effort and it dipped viciously. Lewis did well in the goal to watch it all the way and turn it over. And then I think it was a minute later, 2 minutes later, and Stourport got the ball in the back of the net from us giving it away again. So it's 1-0 Stourport. I can't really say too much about it because I was writing about what had happened before the dipping shot. I just heard somebody next to me go, "Oh, fucking hell, that's to give the ball away." I looked up and the ball was in the back of the net. Yeah, it was a good finish. Lewis couldn't do anything about it, but that's about all I could say about it. And then, well, at that point, you think, for fuck's sake, here we go again. But a fair play. Tividale came out and played, and then probably got on top.
Right.
Ewan, again, pretty similar to what he did on Saturday. Picked the ball up on the right, drove into the box, past the defender. Again, forcing another good save from the keeper. We were having quite a bit of joy down that right side. The fullback couldn't cope with Ewan. Get a few just in the final third where we couldn't really get much luck, much joy. And then I haven't written the minutes down, but then Stourport get a corner. Oh no, they don't. We get a free kick out on the right, out on the wide right. It's pulled back, and everybody thinks it's a crap ball. Oh God, you hear the ugh. But actually, from where we were, we couldn't see it because there was bodies in the way. There was a Tividale player on the edge of the box.
All right.
It came to Max Morris, who took a touch, half volley, straight into the top corner, 1-0.
Excellent.
First goal for the club for Max Morris, and it was what a goal.
Good.
Yeah. It's one of those. From the keeper's point of view, it wasn't right in the corner, but the Stourport keeper isn't the biggest.
Right.
You would say 95% of keepers would save it because they're taller. But he couldn't have done anything else. because
Right.
unfortunately he just wasn't quite tall enough.
Yeah.
If he'd been another couple of inches taller, he probably would have kept it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately he's not, so he couldn't. Um, yeah, and then Tividale, like I say, probably on top again. There was another shot, ball into the near post, and I was down the other end, so I couldn't quite see if the defender took the sting out of it or he couldn't quite connect properly. But it just bounced off Domdale. That's what it looked like from where we were, but we're down the other end. Obviously, like I say, I don't know if the defenders got there first and it's just kind of rolled to the keeper in the end.
Right.
Stourport being restricted to long efforts, range efforts, which are just comfortable for Lewis. We're driving into the box again, like I say, just final thirds, it's just not happening for us. And then right on half time, Stourport get a corner.
Oh dear.
Deep corner to the back post, well, to the back of the 6-yard box. Headed
Yeah.
down into the 6-yard box. There's about 4 or 5 Tividale defenders around it and one Stourport player. Of course, the one Stourport player gets there and manages to get there first somehow and just stabs it into the back of the net.
Ooh.
Right on half time, Stourport took the lead. I'm not going to say it's undeserved, but it probably really was. Yeah, it's harsh on Tividale. But again, the first goal, we've created our own problems.
Yeah.
And we've not defended the corner well. So, again, realistically, it's our own problems that have caused it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 2-1 Stourport at half time. Second half, not really a fat lot happened for the first 20 minutes or so. In terms of noteworthy stuff, it was a good game to watch, but it was being played in between the two boxes. Final balls was being overhit, defenders doing well, but it is actually a good game to watch, entertaining football.
Yeah.
Both teams trying to play football when they can, not trying to kick 10 sides of shit out of each other. They are actually trying to play football and do what they can. First opportunity to the half probably went to Stourport. Some good link-up play down the right, pulled back to the edge of the box, but it was a comfortable shot again, straight at Lewis. A few minutes later, they probably did the same thing, and then they caught us one ball over the top, gets him in behind. Similar to Wolves' first goal against Yeovil on Sunday, the player cuts inside onto his left foot, coming across the goal, hits it back in the opposite direction to the bottom corner. Again, no chance for Lewis. That was in the 78th minute.
Oh, crikey. And that's just 3-1 at that point.
Yeah.
Lasted most of the second half, did well then.
Yeah. So that's then Stourport 3, Tividale 1. That was very harsh. They weren't 2 goals better than us. And we left ourselves open, but we had to at that point. So you can't really complain about leaving it open because obviously we need as many points as we can get, and we were losing. So we had to push forward a bit, and we're probably playing a little bit higher than we probably should have been. But again, given the situation, you can't really complain about it. Then we got to, I think it was 84 minutes. The ball played over the top. It switched from right back to left forward, or right wing to left wing. Ryan Knight picks it up. Some good hard work himself. He cuts inside from the left onto the right, onto his right foot. Looks like he's going to do the thing the opposite of what the other player did. Hit it back across his body into the left foot. He doesn't. Looks up. Rolls it across to Malcolm Melvin, who is back after a long-term injury. He takes one touch and fires another one into the top corner.
Right, excellent.
So, Stourport 3, Tividale 2. And both of Tividale's goals are probably two of the best goals you'll see in terms of finishes and where they've finished in the goal all season. Again, if the Stourport keeper's 3 or 4 inches taller, he probably gets something to it and maybe keeps it out, but unfortunately he's not. But I can say it now, 50 quid well spent on my sponsorship from Melvin. After him doing his MCL in the last game of pre-season, I was like, for fuck's sake. That's 50 quid well spent. He's going to be out for the season, but no, he's not. He's back. And brought us a bit more fight in the middle. He's one of those players who'll go in, he'll do the dirty work. He does the stuff that a lot of players doesn't want to do. But he's also got the quality to ping one in the top corner like he did. So yeah, it's 3-2 with 5-6 minutes to go. And we're in the ascendancy. So then, 88 minutes, ball played over the top. Jack Till gets onto it, latches onto it. The keeper's coming out. He lifts it over the keeper, heading towards the goal, and the defender just gets to the goal and clears it off the line.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So it's still 3-2. And then, in all honesty, that's it. That's all the chances. We were huffing and puffing. But Stourport then, going into added time, they just kind of got hold of the ball, and they're difficult side to get the ball off when they want to keep it.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, that was it. So Stourport 3, Tividale 2. Disappointing result, but a positive performance, especially after Saturday's
I was
performance.
going to say, it sounds like that's the best performance they've put in for weeks.
From what I've seen, yes, but I've missed a couple of games, and apparently they played well against Darlow when they lost 2-0. But I wasn't there that week. Yeah, so it was plenty of positives to take from it, and if we play like that every week, we've got nothing to worry about. It's just we need the players to step up and play like that every week.
Yeah.
And that's not 8 or 9 of them on the pitch. That's every single one of them on the pitch. You can't afford to carry a player at this level, and unfortunately, we have at times this season. Unfortunately, at times we've carried multiple players.
Yeah.
And you get punished. But yeah, much better response. Couple of results didn't go our way. Dudley won again that night, but then 14 points clear of them. I was.
Right.
But as I say, we've still got the 3 games and got to play them again. So if we win those 3 and beat them, hopefully we can return the favour and beat them. That then only puts us 2 points behind them. I don't know what I'm comparing us to Dudley because they're now 10th. Northwich lost to Dudley beat Northwich, and that's what's done us a favour because they're the next team above us. I think they beat them 2-0.
Yeah.
Dudley Town, who are bottom of the table, who are playing Darlaston, who are around the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think we need to worry about them anymore. Bewdley are well gone.
Yeah, we looked at when we finished, it was 0-0 in the 90th minute. Somebody got a yellow card. Well, it's only 1 point. At least it's not 3. And then all of a sudden, 101st minute penalty to Darlaston.
Right.
So Darlaston won that in the 101st minute from the penalty spot. So Bewdley just have literally no luck, and I feel for them because we're in a similar position.
Yeah.
Whitchurch won, which didn't help. We could have done with them losing. They beat Highgate, which was a bit of a shock result.
Yeah.
And there's someone else in the area that we needed to do. Stone lost.
Old Allianians.
Yeah, they lost 1-0 to Shifnal. So again, that went in our favour.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, plenty of positives to take.
Good.
Especially going into the weekend, which we'll move on to later on.
But
yeah, so yeah, that's the match report.
That's the match reports. Well, I mean, for what I've been looking at, I mean, at the weekend it was also FA Cup 4th round weekend.
It was. Oh,
And there was a giant killing.
sorry. Before we move on,
Go on.
referees, both games, good. Can't really complain about them.
Referee at Bishops was good as well.
Yeah, couple of questionable decisions, but like I say, at this step, we expect that as long as they're consistent, which they were. But I have to say, we had the only female referee at Step 5 from the Midland Football League on Tuesday at Stourport.
Yeah.
Yeah. In all fairness to her, she's probably the best referee we've had so far this season, or in the top three, at least. So yeah, it's good to see, because obviously there's a bit of things in the media at the minute of some of these women are getting pushed up just because they're women, especially Rebecca Welch saying she's only in the Premier League because she's a woman. But no, Julia Kings, I think her name was, fully deserved.
Okay.
Fully deserved to be at the level at Step 5. Probably not quite ready for Step 4 yet. But obviously there's still pretty much half a season to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only thing I said, I think, is that she could be a little bit more assertive.
Mm-hmm.
But again, she's still young as well, so that's going to come with age and experience.
Yeah.
That was my only criticism of her, if I was being hypercritical. But then speaking to Stu afterwards, he goes, "No, I thought she did pretty well." But obviously, he's the other side of the fence and having that communication. Yeah. So maybe from the size, it doesn't look like she is, but on the pitch, she obviously is. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. Sorry.
Good. Yeah. So as I was saying, it was FA Cup weekend, and Maidstone had made it into the fourth round, and they were away at Ipswich, and they managed to come away with a win. Knocked Ipswich out. So Maidstone from Step 2 of non-league, knocking out Ipswich, which they're championship, aren't they? So
second in the Championship.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a good result. They've now got either Coventry or Sheffield Wednesday in the fifth round, and that got me thinking: what other sort of like decent giant killings have there been in recent years? Everybody remember. Well, I don't remember it. It was before I was born, but everybody talks about Hereford beating Newcastle in 1972. But there have been others. So I thought, right, I'll have a look. I will only start from the third round. So we got the really big clubs in. And I will go back a few years. And it's got to be a non-league team beating, because we're a non-league podcast. So it's got to be non-league beating a league team from the third round onwards. So I looked at it.
Yeah.
Last year, 22-23, didn't happen. So, right, okay. How many of these am I actually going to find? Well, 2021-22 was a good season for non-league, and they had 3 decent results in the third round. Hartlepool, who were non-league at the time, beat Blackpool 3-1. They went on into the fourth round where they lost to Crystal Palace. Boreham Wood beat Wimbledon 2-0. They went through into the fourth round, where they then followed that up with an away win at Bournemouth.
Premier League Bournemouth. No, that
Premier League Bournemouth at the time. They were, we're talking 21-22, so they were Premier League.
Then they went to Everton.
They went on to the fifth round where they lost 2-0 to Everton away at Goodison Park.
No shame.
That was a good run. But also in the third round that year, Kidderminster beat Reading 2-1 and then went on to lose to West Ham in the fourth round. So that was a good year for non-league.
I couldn't get tickets for that, because I should have been going there.
Right. 2021. So this was the season when we're coming out of COVID, really. Third round, only one result of note there was Chorley 2, Derby 0.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because Chorley then went on into the fourth round where they lost to Wolves. So that was only the one there. Then you've got to go back 2 years before that, 2018-19. Sheffield United 0, Barnet 1.
Yes, I remember that.
And Barnet went on into the fourth round, obviously. They played Brentford there. Took them to a replay, but did lose. That was a good one. Then we've got a really good one. Now, see if you remember this one. 2016-2017.
Okay.
non-league team making it all the way to the quarterfinals. Any idea who?
16, 17. Oldham?
Nope. You can have one more guess and I'm going to tell you.
Hang on, non-league. Back in 16, 17 to the quarterfinals. Are they still non-league?
No, they won the National League that season.
Harrogate?
No.
Damn it.
I'll tell you in a minute. I'll talk about the other team that was in the third round and getting a good result, that one.
Yeah.
Sutton United.
That would have been my other guess,
nil,
but it's not them either.
it's not them either. No, they drew 0-0 with Wimbledon, then beat them 3-1. Went on to the fourth round and beat Leeds 1-0.
Yeah,
and then lost to Arsenal in the fifth round.
Yeah, I think
at the Emirates. So Sutton had a good run getting to the fifth round. The team that went one better than that
Newport?
were Lincoln.
Yeah,
City.
Lincoln. I remember now. Yeah.
The Cowley brothers.
Yeah.
Yes, this is what brought the Cowley brothers their fame.
Yeah.
So Lincoln beat Ipswich 1-0 in the third round.
Yeah.
They went and beat Brighton 3-1 in the fourth round.
Yeah.
And then they went away to Burnley to Turf Moor in the fifth round and beat them 1-0.
Yeah.
Gets to the quarterfinals, and that's where they did finally succumb and got lost 5-0 to Arsenal.
Which is fair enough.
So that's the best run for a non-league team in many a year.
Yeah.
So
before
that, I just had a look a bit further back than that. 2013-14, Kidderminster beat Peterborough 3-2 in the third round, then lost to Sunderland in the fourth.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, that's it. I'm not going to check every season now. I'm just going to look at a couple of ones, see what else there is out there. So I found I remember this one. This was before you were born, but I remember it. 1989 season in the third round.
Yeah.
Sutton 2, Coventry 1.
Okay, yeah.
Which was a huge result at the time because Coventry had won the blooming competition in '87. So
yeah.
So that was a big result. I don't know who they got in the fourth round, but they didn't make it out of it. And the other one I found, which will interest you,
just when older shop beaters.
No.
Okay.
A guy called Tim Bazaglo scored a hat-trick in this match. He was a part-timer. His main job, he was a computer specialist.
Yeah.
He was also had represented Gibraltar at cricket.
Oh.
And this result was played out at the Hawthorns. It was West Brom 2, Woking 4.
That was it, Woking.
Woking were in the Isthmian League at the time.
Yeah.
So
Why
that was the only other one I found. Well, because of West Brom.
I already knew. I'd rather not think about it and remember it. Well, it was before my time, so it doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count. It was before your time, just. But so those were the ones I picked out as interesting results. But Lincoln certainly were the best, had the best run. Now remains to be seen whether Maidstone can match that, and if Maidstone match it, then it's actually better because Maidstone are a step further down the pyramid. So
yes, so it was interesting to hear. Actually, Maidstone are the first side outside of the top level of non-league to reach the fifth round since Blythe Spartans in 1978.
Yeah, heard that. Yeah.
Was that the year that beat somebody? Was it? It wasn't Newcastle, was it? Was it Middlesbrough?
I don't know.
They beat somebody localish to them. I'm sure it was Middlesbrough.
Hold on, we will find out.
You're going to tell me it wasn't them, it's Coventry or someone like that. In fact, I think it was Coventry now. I've just said that.
Let's have a look. 1970s, was it the 77-78 season?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Let's have a look. Just bring that one up. Where's the matches? Fifth round. Blythe Spartans went out to Wrexham in the fifth round.
Yeah.
They'd beaten Stoke in the fourth round.
Yeah.
They'd beaten Enfield in the third round.
Okay, then it wasn't Coventry.
No, it wasn't. I'm just seeing where they went before that. They beat Chesterfield in the second round.
Yeah.
The first round they'd beaten Burscough. Yeah, so no.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know where I got that from.
No.
Yeah.
Well, there you
Oh,
go.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. Those are your giant killers
Well, fair enough.
for now.
For now, yeah. For now. Aye. So yeah, that's sticking on the fourth round. Well, the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Obviously we've already mentioned Maidstone beating Ipswich. We have to say something like 33 shots was it for Ipswich and only 2 for Maidstone.
Yeah, but they scored them both.
They
That's
scored
what
them
counts.
both, yeah. And Maidstone's keeper had an absolute blinder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the Maidstone fan that rolled over the stand?
Yes. Yeah. Fell out the top tier, rolled down the roof of the bottom tier, didn't he? Yeah.
Landing on top of a woman who is now apparently trying to sue the club.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, standard results. I don't think there was really any shocks other than that one.
That was a shock, wasn't it? I mean, there was, what was there, 4 non-league clubs in total?
No, that was the last round.
No,
Maidstone was the only one
that
left
was
at
the
this
last
point.
round. This time there wasn't, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So standout results really, like biggish games. We'll leave one particular one till the end. But obviously Bournemouth put 5 past Swansea.
Yeah.
Chelsea and Villa finished 0-0, so they've got to go to a replay. As did Bristol City and Forest, so that's going to a replay. And I believe those are the 2 picked for the TV as well, for the replays.
Right.
Chelsea and Villa is definite, and it's either Bristol City and Forest or Leeds and Plymouth because they drew 1-1. I can't remember which one of those 2 that picked.
Chelsea and Villa have got Leeds or Plymouth.
Yeah, Leeds or Plymouth. Yeah. Standout really then after that. Obviously Newport playing Man United.
Yeah.
2-0 down. Got it back to 2-2, then unfortunately lost 4-2. But very good performance from Newport.
Good effort. Good effort, definitely.
Luton got a very late winner against Everton. I think it was a 97th minute or something like
Yeah.
that. Bollywood played Hollywood. Is the way I've seen it advertised as Blackburn took on Wrexham. Blackburn won that 4-1.
Yeah.
Brighton 5, Sheffield United 2. That was a big score. Another big score was Liverpool 5, Norwich 2. I thought I might as well mention the ones I haven't because there's only about 3 left. The others finished Sheffield Wednesday 1, Coventry 1. Again, as we said, the winner of that play is Maidstone at home in the next round.
Yeah.
City beat Spurs, which was probably the biggest tie in terms of names playing each other. City won 1-0.
Yeah.
We said Leeds and Plymouth. Leicester beat Birmingham 3-0. And Watford and Southampton drew 1-1, so I've got to do it all again as well. That brings us on to the one remaining game. The one I haven't mentioned. The one that made me again more miserable. Was the Black Country derby that everybody knew about, West Brom and Wolves.
Yeah.
Wolves obviously won it 2-0, but obviously made headlines for other reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't obviously we don't condone it, but in a way I'm glad it's happened because it got rid of that Klopp interview on ITV, which would have been a night completely boring to watch. It upset the Liverpool fans. Anything you can do to upset the Liverpool fans is always a bonus. They're all kicking off saying, well, I'm not being funny. I'll be showing it after the game. Or just put it on our TV player or on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's not hard, you can still watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously the crowd trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard anything on it.
No, I just heard that there was a Wolves fan in the West Brom end and he was giving it to some of the players' wives and kids. That's all I heard.
Yeah, so there was a few areas. You got that one that they showed in that corner initially with all the police, with all kicking off, was the corner of the Birmingham Road end and Halford Lane stand. Halford Lane, they are both West Brom stands. No away fans should be in there at all. Kicked off in there. Apparently, they scored. A couple of fans stood up giving it the big one. And one of them spat, allegedly, in the direction of Carl Bartley's wife and children.
Right.
Apparently, up until that point, it was quite calm with the fans because it's the family stand, so there's not really. It's usually full of families and older people in there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the fans like, let's get rid of them kind of thing. But when that happened, a couple of the fans took exception to it.
Yeah.
Understandably.
Mm.
But from what I'm hearing, the stewards had got it under control, and then it was our friends at West Midlands Police who came running in. Like, I don't know if this is true. This is just what I'm being told from people I know that were there.
Right.
Our friends from West Midlands Police come in with batons blazing and decided to escalate the situation after the stewards actually got it under control.
Right.
So that was that corner. Then the opposite corner, which is the corner between the Smethwick Road and the Millennium corner. So the Wolves fans and the West Brom fans. In there, apparently there was a group of Albion fans who had decided to bring along mate who was a Wolves fan.
Right.
Apparently it wasn't too bad in that corner, despite the pictures of the man coming out covered in blood. What happened was he clapped when Wolves scored the second goal, because obviously you naturally do it sometimes without thinking. Again, kicked off, nothing too major. Stewards got it under control, but then one fan decided to jump from halfway down up the stand to down to keep the Wolves fan in the back, so it kicked off again.
Right.
Yeah, but nobody knows, actually. Did you see the guy who was covered in blood?
Yes.
Yeah. Nobody seems to be able to identify who he was supporting.
It could have been ketchup.
Yeah.
I mean, if it had been me there with my chips, and somebody kicked me in the back, I would be covered like that because I have that much ketchup on my chips. It would have been all over me.
Yeah, but nobody seems to know who he was supporting. Nobody knows if there's reports saying he's definitely a Wolves fan, and there's other reports saying he was definitely an Albion fan. So nobody actually knows. He was in the Albion section, but no one knows if he was an Albion fan or a Wolves fan.
Right.
There was then another Wolves fan who's put himself all over TikTok and Twitter and everything else, singing Wolves songs in the Albion end to start with, in the East End, but he was in the corporate section.
Right.
So he could potentially find himself without a job because he got chased out of the ground. He got chased down the stairs under the stand. So and like I say, on a corporate ticket, he could well have got himself the sack.
Yeah.
It could be wrong with that. If anybody knows, or if he's listening
it's
himself.
Speculation, isn't it? So.
Yeah. But yeah, then well and truly put the Black Country Derby back on the map, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely, yes.
People
for
asking
all the wrong
if
reasons.
Well, I'm not being funny. No. ITV going off like it was the end of the world and blah, 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 and nobody wants to see it. I'm not being funny. Why have you picked this game? Wolves' squad is miles better than us, so they should be smashing us.
Yeah.
What are they? Like, Pedro Neto is probably worth, and Cunha put together is worth more than all of our squad put together. Yeah, we're having a good season, but we haven't got the financial power we had 3-4 years ago.
No.
ITV picked that game for the fact that they knew it's a derby and there's potential for things to get fiery. They probably didn't expect that.
Yeah.
But if you're going to put a derby on the game, you're going to, unfortunately,
you do run that risk. I mean, you shouldn't run that risk because you should be able to
100%.
televise any football match and not have any trouble.
100%.
But the potential for trouble does rise in derby situations, obviously. So
it does, especially when teams haven't played each other for as long as we have.
Yeah.
I think it's been 11 years, something like that, since we last played in front of fans.
Yeah, that's right, because we had one match during the COVID lockdown.
Yeah, we were both in the Prem during the COVID, when there was no fans allowed. And then it obviously got Rishi Sunak's attention, saying it was deplorable and blah, blah, blah. I'm not being funny, I said, but West Midlands Police need looking into as well. because I've seen videos on Twitter of the police goading fans, like winding them up. So I'm like, that's not what the police should be doing in that situation. They're there to calm things down, where actually they're escalating it. And there wasn't. It was quickly became evident there wasn't enough police there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does need a bit of a review from their point of view as well, certainly. I mean, they can certainly learn from it. So
Yeah. Be interesting to see what the FA do with it, though, because obviously the FA are going to have to do an investigation.
yeah.
I would expect a nice little fine for West Brom, which we currently can't afford, but we'll have to deal with it. I'd be surprised if there was any repercussions for Wolves, because the Wolves fans in the Wolves end were particularly well behaved. So I'd be surprised. What we've done for failing to control spectators, I imagine.
Yeah, be something like that, wouldn't it?
And all honesty, I would be expecting the club, because they will know every person that tried to purchase tickets, because it never actually got in general sales, so it was all season ticket holders or members.
Yeah.
Anyone that's been identified has sold a ticket onto a Wolves fan or brought a ticket for a Wolves fan in a West Brom, and I would expect them to be issuing banning orders.
Yeah, you would hope so.
Yeah, because they're responsible for what kicks off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that wasn't non-league, non-league competition.
So that's what happened outside of non-league.
Yeah. Oh,
what happened in non-league?
Sorry, we've got
one more thing. Go on.
The fifth round draw as well.
Oh yeah.
Again, I know it's not strictly non-league anymore, but with it being the FA Cup starting non-league, we probably will follow this right through to the final.
Yeah.
Just not as in much detail once Maidstone.
Exactly. Yeah, once Maidstone are gone, it won't need as much detail, but we'll still mention it, certainly.
So we've got Blackburn versus Newcastle, which is historically a big game. Blackburn obviously formerly Premier League champions. Alan Shearer obviously played for Blackburn as well before going to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Chelsea or Villa versus Leeds or Plymouth.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind seeing that on the telly. So straight away, those two, I'm not bothered either way. Bournemouth v Leicester.
Yeah.
Bottomish of the Premiership against top of the Championship. Yeah, can see why they pick it, because it's a different league, but not particularly bothered if it's not picked. Liverpool v Watford or Southampton. I don't want to see that on the telly.
No.
Bristol or Forest versus Man United. If Bristol win, definitely would like to see that on the telly. Bristol City, that is. If Forest win, again, because of the history of Forest and United, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Yeah.
Wolves v Brighton. I wouldn't mind seeing it on the telly, because historically there is goals in that game. But I'd rather see Blackburn and Newcastle or Bournemouth v Leicester in all honesty. Sheffield Wednesday or Coventry versus Maidstone. For me, that has to be on the telly.
Well, if they put Maidstone on against Ipswich in the previous round, they will absolutely put that one on the telly.
Yeah.
So.
And then the final game draw was Luton versus Man City. Again, another one I could take or leave, with it being pretty much bottom of the Premier League against City. There's a chance of an upset. I felt a little bit sorry for Maidstone. That took a bit of flack on Twitter because their reaction when they came out. And I think it took a little bit out of context, because when they came out, there was only 3 balls left in the draw, and if they'd just waited one more ball, they'd have been playing Man City. And they just missed drawing Wolves away as well, which is, you think, well, Wolves away, what's the significance about that for anyone?
Well, that's what the manager wants, isn't he? Because he didn't play for Wolves.
Yeah, and George Emekobi played for Wolves, so he
calls the Molineux the Golden Palace, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think that would have been the ideal draw for him to have missed that by 2 balls and City by 1 ball. I think that's why he was disappointed. Overall, they're delighted with the draw, but there was just that little bit in that moment of disappointment because of how close they were to get in.
In the moment.
Yeah. Because of how close they were to get in that massive that draw that Emekobi wanted at Wolves away, or that massive draw against Man City.
Yeah.
So, that wraps up the FA Cup. So moves on to the news. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 things this week.
Go on then.
Probably a bit more, but I didn't really look too much once I got 4 because I'm like, I'll be talking
Yeah,
too long.
4's enough. Go for it.
Oh, I forgot the scores.
Oh, the big scores. Can
Yes,
we do the big scores?
I have got them. Do you want me to do them before or after the news?
Do that after. Do the news first.
Okay, after news first. So, Hartlepool, the fans' trust are looking at purchasing the club off current chairman Rad Singh. But the supporters' trust and consortium have been unable to agree a deal to take over the club.
Right.
Singh has stated a verbal agreement couldn't be reached with the group at this stage. It takes a lot of money to run a National League club. Although he saw proof of funds, he hadn't received information on how the structure of the supporters' trust would work,
Right.
or how they would fund the club going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, yeah, you've got money now, but how are you going to continue to generate funds? So, although he's looking to offload the club, he doesn't want to offload it to a situation where the club could be in trouble financially within a couple of years. Which fair play to him.
Mm-hmm.
He has said he's open.
That's good.
He's open to talking to him about them getting a stake in the club at the moment.
Right.
But they wouldn't be able to take over fully at the moment, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nuneaton Borough are back in the news. Well, Nuneaton. Supporters are looking to revive the club in some way. So it looks like they're trying to get a supporters trust together to try and revive it like a Phoenix club.
Yeah.
Quite after all our discussions last week about Phoenix clubs.
Yeah.
They're holding 2 open meetings this week so for people to come along and discuss options and what they can do going forward.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's good to hear. Although we've lost them this season, hopefully they'll be back for next season, but obviously at a lower level.
Yeah.
I don't have too much information with this next one. New Salamis played Redbridge on the weekend. I don't know if you've heard about this.
Who?
New Salamis and Redbridge.
No, I haven't.
So it was abandoned in injury time, second half injury time. It was 2-1
abandoned in second half injury time.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So it was 2-1 to Redbridge at the time. There's been no statement from either club. No statement I can see from the league, but it was only a very quick look, so I may have missed it. Very limited information. All I can get is a couple of people have commented when people are asking why was it abandoned. A couple of people who I assume were at the game have said there was a fight that got out of control.
Right. Okay. No, there's not even a match report on the New Salamis website.
No, and I don't think there is on the Redbridge one either.
No. Interesting.
Yeah, an interesting one that no other club has released a statement, because you usually get a statement within 24 hours when something like that happens. Yeah. Whether it be one from each club or a joint statement. But yeah, nothing. So I'm not 100% what's happened there, but yeah, apparently it was a fight, but unconfirmed.
Right.
And
okay.
Finally, in the news this week is Bury again.
Oh yeah.
They've had to release a statement again. After Saturday's game against Salamis United, which they won 10-1, pretty convincing.
Yeah.
Doesn't make the big score list because it's step 5. But yeah, they won 10-1. So it's a big score. So the statement was there was a short delay restarting the game to the 90th minute against Salamis, and this was due to 3 people attempting to enter the playing area. So more crowd trouble.
Right.
At Bury. This is the third, at least the second time this season. Multiple times again already this season, over the last couple of seasons or whatever it is, as we know from the FA previously.
Yeah.
They've said they've got eyewitness statements and video evidence. They're doing their own internal investigation, but if there's any evidence of criminal behaviour, they'll pass it on to the police.
Yeah.
I actually writ it down in shorthand, but criminal behaviour report to Popo. Which actually isn't that much shorter because it's only 1 letter shorter, but it was shorter. But on the back of that, they're going to make 3 changes going forward immediately.
Yeah.
So they're going to be suspending the sale of alcohol in the stadium. In the stands during the game. They are considering an actual outright ban of alcohol.
Right.
Apart from I didn't write it down. Apart from a certain bar, which I'm assuming is probably corporate, or supporters because they've got members or whatever. Support your members bar. So everywhere else, there'll be no alcohol available during the game.
Yeah.
They're going to enforce strict stewarding. And one of those things that they'll be enforcing more will be to prevent people standing near the pitch. So if I remember rightly, Gig Lane, I've only ever seen it briefly on the telly and a couple of pictures of it. The stands are set quite a bit back from the pitch, so there's a bit of a walkway between the stands and the pitch.
It's been a few years since I've been there.
Yeah.
So I have been to Gig Lane.
So I think there's quite a wide pathway between the pitch and the stands, so people have obviously been congregating on the pathways.
Right. Okay. So I'll have to say in your stand sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it looks like it's going to be you've got to stay.
Yes, there's quite a wide area around the edge. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, and the last thing that they're doing, that they're going to do, and it's caused a little bit of a stir on Twitter, and I have to agree, it is a bit odd. They're going to ask players to be mindful where they celebrate goals and avoid areas people are congregating. I'm not being funny. As a player, you're not looking where people are 9 times out of 10.
No,
There is the odd occasion.
Exactly.
There is the odd occasion, like we saw with Ollie Watkins in the Premier League the other week when he was receiving abuse throughout the whole game from one particular person. You will pick them out. But generally, on the whole, you don't really go looking for fans.
No.
You might get the odd goal every now and again where you're near your own fans that you'll go over and like stand near them. Again, you'll see it higher up the pyramid where people are standing in front of the opposition fans and cover their ears or whatever. But to ask players not to celebrate near fans is maybe a little bit.
What do you want them to do? Run and celebrate in the centre circle? There you go.
Yeah. As long as it's not an excessive celebration. If the players kind of aggravate the fans, then yes, fair enough. And if that's what's happened last week, then fair enough. But obviously we weren't there, so we can't say that. But but that's the changes they're looking at immediately.
All right. Okay.
The alcohol.
Well, they've had to do something, haven't they? They've had to react after the bad press they're getting as well. So. Yeah,
definitely. I think it's all fair as well. Like I said, the celebration is probably a little bit over the top, but at least if they ask and something happens, they can say, "Well, we've asked them not to." Yeah. But they have said, hopefully, it's short-term solutions, and they'll be able to reverse the alcohol ban if people are well behaved and listening, and then see how they go from there. Yeah. So that's the news.
Okay.
Do you want the scores?
Bring me some big scores. Yeah, go for it.
Right. So there's 18 this week.
Oh, gold. Okay, go for it. Quick.
So we've got
Belt them off.
Altrincham 4, Eastleigh 0. Worthing 4, Torquay 2. Morpeth 1, Hyde United 5. Aston United 4, Atherton Collieries 3. Bamber Bridge 1, Radcliffe 5. Chatham 5, Canvey Island 1. Lewis 4, Margate 2. Folkestone Invictica 3. Carshalton Athletic 3. Merthyr 4, Didcot 0. Tiverton 4, Paul 2. Sporting Kelson 0, Quorn 4. Harborough 4, Gresley 0. Hensford 1, City of Liverpool 5. Widnes 5, 1874 Northwich 1. Vauxhall Motors 2, Runcorn Linnets 4. South Park 4, Westfield 5. Melksham 1, Larkhall 5. And Bishops Cleeve 3, Tavistock 4.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good one. At this rate, you're going to have to revise what you call a big score, and it's going to have 5 goals instead of 4.
I'd say over 5 goals, but or somebody who's won by 4 or more. So I might change that to 5 or more.
Yeah, yeah, I would. So.
Unless it's a week when there's not a lot, then I might drop down to the 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Excellent.
5-1
Good.
was the most popular one this week.
It was, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I like that 4-5 game. So,
Yeah, and that was
would have been
involving
good
our
to
friend
see.
Cartman again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing this weekend? Congleton away for you, is it?
It is top of the league, Congleton away, new ground, which I thought was going to complete the Midland League for me, but no, it's not. But yeah, Congleton away. So, like I said, hoping to build on the performance from Tuesday.
Yeah.
We're going there not expecting too much. Obviously, Congleton doing very well, top of the league.
Yeah.
Kind of building a gap. But I know what this squad's like. I know what this Tividale team like. It's the kind of thing they'll go and do. They'll go and do in 1-0.
Yeah.
Completely shock. Throw a spanner in the works for Congleton's title run. And then we'll go and play Whitchurch or whoever it is we've got the week we've got Lichfield the week after, so that's another big game.
Yeah.
So we'll put in 2 good performances against them, then we'll go and play Dudley. I think it is the week after. We're going to play Dudley and lose again.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Any idea what you're doing?
I don't have a clue, really.
Fair enough.
I might try and get to the United Counties Premier South again.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Any idea who you'd might want to try and see, or? Nope. All right. Appears we lost Andrew again. Yeah.
I'm still here. I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to be United Counties, but it possibly might be somewhere else. Depends what I see. Takes me fancy at the last minute.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But
No.
yeah, so that's plans for the weekend. Just before we leave, just wanted to say if anyone does want to relive my misery from Saturday, there is highlights available on YouTube through Will Burford, I think his name is, and that's his YouTube name as well. So yeah, if you want a couple of good interviews on there as well with management and Leon from Tividale as well. So if anyone wants to relive my nightmare, feel free. Will Burford on YouTube.
Right.
Right.
Well, having said that, I'll see you next week.
Yep. See you next week. Have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.